Dr. K, and this is the truth about mental illness. Welcome back, everyone, to the greatest mental health and wellness journey of our lifetime. Shout out to our caregivers and to our ally angels. You know we love to love you. Let me just give a quick reminder about this space, okay? This is a space that is just a judgment-free zone, okay? As we talk about, medication and brain disorders that are connected to, mental illness, there's still a lot of stigma out there. But this is a judgment-free zone. This is a space where we can all just show up, listen to this message, leave feeling affirmed or empowered in one way or another. The world is quite fascinating, and the people in it are just as fascinating. We are all emotional beings, and we all have a purpose, here on earth, on this side of heaven. And so I would like for us to lead with humility, lead with no judgment, and lead with feeling affirmed and empowered in who we are and who God has created us to be as emotional beings, and treating other people, with that same level and layer of respect that they deserve, regardless of whether they have a brain disorder or not. But most especially, if they do, and that, be gentle, be kind to that regard. All right, so that's my quick message. We are still in this psychotropic medication social media campaign, and what are we talking about today? Oh, medication again? Yes, seems really simple, but we're going to rewind it back, okay? Because we've been in this for technically 2 whole weeks, but this is the first full week. But let's talk about what it looks like to start a new medication, and then what it looks like to safely take our medication. So what you're going to hear me say is a laundry list of things that I, have experienced myself, things that I've walked clients through, and things that I've seen, just online. Some of these are, actually, there's one that just made me laugh, and I'll probably laugh again when I share it. But let's start with taking a new medication. Obviously, you want to connect with your provider. So if earlier this week you got the Motivation Monday message that said, take your meds, and you decided to take your meds, my hope is that you took your meds and that you engaged your provider to let them know that you are now taking your psychotropic medication, and you are fully understanding, everything that you need to know about the medication itself, about the side effects, about the time frame by which you can start expecting to feel a little bit different, and all that good stuff. The other thing I want to make sure that we highlight is tell your provider, your prescriber, if you have allergies to anything, okay? Not just seasonal allergies, but especially if you have a medication allergy. I have my allergies memorized now. I am so proud of myself, because even when I go like to the dentist, for example, and they ask, oh, do you have any allergies to any medications? And I can just start rattling them off, and then they can start going, do, do. Yes, that is a song that is playing in their mind as they're kind of check marking things that they know they can't prescribe me because I have a billion different allergies. But if you have allergies of any kind, make sure that you bring that up with your provider. And then also, when you start a new medication, it's important for you to track it. So be sure to at least, write down what that medication is. If it's just one medication and you're fine keeping up with it in the bottle, then that's fine. But most people take, more than one medication. Sometimes I've seen this, not just psychotropic, just medication in general. So maybe writing down that new medication at first, when you took it, how often you took it, just keeping track of it, making sure you're not unintentionally even missing a dose, because we don't want that to be the case either. And then if there's any special instructions that you need to know or be aware of, you definitely want to be able to document that too. Okay, so starting new meds, keep track, keep up. Tell your provider if you have an allergy to anything. They need to know this. Now let's talk about taking medication safely. So we definitely want to follow the instructions, okay? So don't just receive it and then, at the pharmacy, when they ask you, do you have any questions for the pharmacist? Don't be afraid to say, yes, I do. Or don't be afraid to do like I do, which is make sure that they gave me the right medication before I leave the pharmacy, because I've had a time where I picked up somebody else's medication, and in the drive-through I had to push it back through. So make sure that you open that up and just look at the prescription paper. Make sure that it is for you, that you know what it is. If you don't recognize the name, ask okay? So that you can make sure that you know it. Sometimes there might be a generic name, but it's still the actual same medication that your prescriber sent to the pharmacy for you. Don't take more or less than what you're supposed to. Literally just take the dose as it is prescribed, as it says on the bottle. I know this sounds simple. I promise there are folks who do not always do this. So please make sure you take your medication as prescribed. Again, do not skip anything. Take your medication on time. Ooh, this is so hard at first, right? So you can take your meds around, different meal times. Sometimes that's a good way to kind of gauge when you should take your medication. When I take medication in the morning, I always take it when I am getting my coffee together. So then that way I know I took it because it's around that particular activity in my day that I do. And then I take my evening medication. I make sure I don't take it after a certain time. In the morning, I make sure I don't take, medication after a certain time too. So that means I am motivated to get that medication in my system by a certain time, twice a day. There are other like charts. There are apps that I've learned about that you can use to help track your medication. Some of the ones that help track your mood, help you track your medication as well. You can use the calendar in your phone to help remind you about taking your medication. You could do that pillbox thing. I'm gonna be honest. I tried it. Okay, I had a new medication some time ago. We're talking years ago, and I remember just the way that I am very ordered and step ordered. I was like, okay, I got to put this in this box for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, doing all the things. And I kept up with that probably for like 3 weeks, and then it just didn't work no more, but I was still taking my medication, but I just didn't like it. But if that's you and you're regimented in that way, then please use that as an option. You can use timers in your phone, set as reminders. I have done that when I've started a new medication just to make sure that even when I'm taking it with other medication, I still remember, hey, don't forget that you got to take this medication and it's new. Don't forget to take it. So definitely want to be able to do that again with the apps. And then I saw this thing. Now this is what I saw online, but y'all, this made me chuckle. It tickled me. It says, turn on a light. Turn on the lights. Do not take your medication in the dark. You might make a mistake. Why am I laughing? Because I am the person that turns on the light just to make sure that I'm taking the right medication. I even count my medication just to make sure that I didn't miss, any one. So if I'm down by one, then I need to recount and then make sure I'm taking the right one. But turn on a light. And I also say, put your glasses on if you need them. If you have readers like me, put your glasses on. So turn on a light. That was hilarious. Maybe I'm the only person. No, I can't be because it's in this article. So it's obvious I'm not the only person. All right. If there's any problems that you're experiencing, maybe you have an allergic, reaction or something like that, or maybe the side effects are too heavy for you, make sure that you reach out to your provider to talk to them about that. You also want to make sure that if you even socially, use alcohol, or especially if you are a smoker or a drug user in any regard, you need to tell your prescriber that they are prescribing you actual medication to help with your brain disorders. So they need to know that. Probably going to advise you, 90+% of the time, hey, not a good idea to actually use substances while I'm actually trying to help you out here with the way that you've been feeling regarding your brain disorder. There is no quick fix. Remember, it takes time Tuesday. Y'all remember that on Tuesday? It takes time. Don't be afraid of the time it takes. So we don't want to, be mixing, drugs and alcohol with medication heavily in that regard either. We do not want to do that. So be honest with your prescriber. And then ask your loved ones and your friends for help. Like if you need help remembering something, ask them to help you remember. If some of these other things, don't work, maybe engaging another person that could check on you once or twice a week just to see how you're doing and how you are coming along with taking, your medication. This stuff is hard, y'all. It is not easy. So if anybody's watching this thinking, oh my gosh, just take your meds, it's so easy. It is not easy. It is not so easy. It is so hard. First of all, psychologically, you have to remind yourself every freaking day that you have a brain disorder. and that you are taking medication to address it. So psychologically, you got to get over that hump, or at least I do every single day, and come to that reality twice a day on my own. That does not include all the other stuff that is demanding of my actual life. This is just one major component. So while it may sound, really simple, like take your meds safely and, make sure you talk to your provider, I have to keep repeating these things because these are things that I have seen become barriers and stumbling blocks to folks like myself who suffer from mental illness. And the more severe the diagnosis, the more severe your response or reaction to your environment, the more you need that medication if it's been prescribed to you. So that's all I have for today. I hope this was informative. Good way to kick off the weekend. I'm going to kind of ponder over some things that you all shared with me this weekend and see how it is that we'll start the week on Monday. Another Motivation Monday. What shall the topic be? I don't know. We shall see. But until then, take care and unto the nations.